Take a look at these sweet potatoes. They have recovered very nicely. They've rooted and they're putting on leaves. See how easy it is to plant sweet potatoes? If you didn't see the video, go back and watch it. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I want to show you the poor man's wheelbarrow. Yes, indeed. This is a tarp. And for the kind of hilly situation I have here, a tarp is better than a wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow will run away from me really easily up and down the mountainside. And most of the time I don't need to carry anything all that heavy. I've used the tarp to carry my trash down the road, put all the bags into the tarp, throw it over my shoulder like some sort of trash Santa Claus, and carry it. And I've used it to dry cocoa. I have used it also for gathering leaves. And today I am getting ready to feed up an epic compost pile. And I have a tarp here that I am going to fill full of cocoa leaves. Cocoa is full of phosphorus. I mean, cocoa leaves are fantastic for a brown layer of a compost pile. Check out this epic compost receptacle. Well, it is a compost receptacle now. Look at that thing. We found that in a empty lot next to our house. It's just a big piece of junk. I have no idea what it used to be, but I thought, man, that is great. That is even easier than stringing pallets together. It may not breathe all that well through the sides, but who cares? It's so easy! It's a super compost digester machine. Oh yes! That's fantastic. There's my brown layer to start. Right here I have a papaya tree, which is a male tree that is not producing. I have multiple male trees around, so I'm not worried about pollination. But this is nice, fast rotting material for the next layer of the compost.
When I was only just a little bitty kid, let me tell you what my daddy did. He took me to the edge of a great big cliff. We watched the sunset, then he said this: listen, little good, I got some words of advice. There are men who are men, and men who are mice. When someone crosses you, you make them think twice. So put these words in your mnemonic device. Be nice to your mother and always say please. Be loyal to friends and compost your enemies. Be nice to your mother and always say please. Be loyal to friends and compost your enemies. Be nice to your mother and always say please. Be loyal to friends and compost your enemies.
Let's throw in some kitchen scraps. Now let's prune back this moringa tree and throw pieces of it in too. This is getting too hard to reach for Rachel to pick moringa leaves, which she puts in a lot of our meals. So let's take it down. Now let's throw in some more brown. So from here on out, all we have to do is keep layering and layering and layering. And I'm gonna have my kids, every time they take the compost out, we'll just throw it in here for now, because I am fresh out of garden beds to dump it on at the moment. And so we'll just keep piling it up in here and piling it up in here, and we'll let it be kind of a continuous digester. I set up a system like this along with my dad. My dad actually built the compost pile, but I inspired him, so I guess I could take a little bit of credit. We set up a system like this where he just took some plywood and built a system, in the back of his, the Great South Florida Food Forest Project. If you want to see the Great South Florida Food Forest Project, it's a little 10th acre, maybe even less than that, backyard space in South Florida, urban Fort Lauderdale, that we have been converting to an edible landscape over time. You can see that on thesurvivalgardener.com. He just keeps throwing stuff in there. He'll throw stuff in there for an entire year, and then he just comes and dumps it out, and there you go. He's got compost, and my mom will take the compost then and spread it around her gardens. When she does that, Dad will give it to the fruit trees. When I visit, I'll go out there, I'll take some of that compost, but it just continuously goes. He doesn't worry about turning it or anything. He just keeps throwing it in, keeps digesting down, and eventually there is just this thick layer of beautiful black compost in the bottom. Fantastic and very easy, and that's what I'm hoping to do with this. We'll just keep dumping stuff in there. We're not going to bother turning it or whatever. It's just going to digest and digest and digest. I'm going to put some seaweed in here. I'm going to put some manure in here. Every time I go to the beach, seaweed. Every time I go for a jog and pick up manure, throw some manure in here. And then all the kitchen scraps. When I rake up the yard, this is convenient because we've got trees and everything around here. I can throw prunings in. I can throw garden waste in it and just keep going and going and going, and that'll all turn into a compost in a space where I can get it. And then when it's full, I'm just gonna tip it over and we'll sort it out. I'll probably put it on my poor man's wheelbarrow. By the way, Caleb, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it that you're watching my videos, and I wanted to say thank you because sometimes I wonder who in the world is out there watching, and now that I know that you're watching, and I hope you drive your parents crazy with gardening experiments. So, everybody else, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. And don't forget to sign up for the Eat Your Dirt Summit. I will put a link in the description, along with a link to my book, Compost Everything, The Good Guide to Extreme Composting. And until next time, may your thumbs always be green.
People feel like Davey G, what happened to your rapping? Well, listen to your gangsters, it ain't like I'm slacking, no. I'm doing like 6 vids a week, dog. I'm planting cards and I'm harvesting y'all. So if I can't bust a rhyme every time, I don't, cause it ain't like it's up. Whoa. But still sometimes you gotta kill a fat beat and let your mouth run some as you gun some fresh lyrics out on the page in a rage of creative exertion, like a green screen explosion of emotion, or not emotion, as the case may be, where you're free of everything but logic, like Spock is. But listen on your docket, cause David G is here to rock it. Pop some seeds in your pocket, hit the garden, we're starting.
Now let me turn it over to my friend, YouTube commenter. He's the mentor.
Something new every day, and trust me, it'll pay you back with food. So even something as crude as a metal bin can begin to give food for the soil. And in return, veggies will be epic. And if you make a compost tea, you'll stretch it. It's like a tale of two cities. The best of compost, the worst of compost. Just make some, y'all. Quit fighting nature, take it safer. The natural process of decomposition, and use your position as designer to make the soil finer. Grab your underliner and a copy of Compost Everything, the good guide to extreme composting.